Hey everyone. Boy, I hate being right all the time. Not. And actually, no, I'm joking. I'm obviously not right all the time. I'm not an oracle by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have a pretty good pulse on things. I am one of those people who have been very observant, and not just about things that happen as far as socializing when I'm out socializing, but even in terms of economics, religious teachings, history, geography, philosophy. I'm just one of those people. There are a certain number of us, I guess, on the planet that just seems to be constantly always trying to expand upon our knowledge. And I always look at it as I'm always challenging myself. If I feel that I'm becoming a little bit complacent or dormant in some way, I try to challenge myself in some other area, in some regard, whether it's in regards to my physical prowess or in regards to my mental state or the kind of knowledge or information that I seek out to help me better define the world around me. But I mean, it didn't take, like I say, you don't even have to be an oracle. You don't have to have any ability to do any predictions, right? You don't have to be a palm reader. You don't need a magic 8-ball. Actually, this is actually the point where I'm saying, actually, I don't have to give myself a whole lot of credit here, because it's something that actually most people, I mean, the people that have been paying attention or who understand economics, or the fact that in Canada, like, if you understand the marijuana industry as it's existed in this country, and you're old enough to understand that, you were probably in the same position I was and giving out the same kind of foresight or information in regards to this whole pretense of legalization in Canada. I mean, I've got lots of videos in the past, and I'm sure you've already watched them, and if you haven't checked through them, just search on my channel, just use that search bar and search up marijuana. Just use the term marijuana or cannabis, and you'll find I've got probably 6-7 videos at least pertaining to the legalization file. But I mean, I knew right off. I mean, there's lots of areas, and just if you look in those videos, I'll give you lots of reasons why I thought this was going to be a detriment, actually a net negative for the Canadian people, both in social and economic terms. But it's really nice to see my suspicions being validated long after the fact, or long after when I put forth what I thought was going to happen, how this was going to play out. Headline, this is out of the Financial Post: cannabis industry to be worth just $5 billion by 2021 amid flat rollout, high costs. For the first time, actual data of recreational sales across Canada is being used to estimate how big the industry is poised to become. This being reported by Venmala Subramaniam. Yeah, I probably butchered that name really bad. Never heard of this contributor before. Anyways, this being published on February 6, 2019. Canada's cannabis industry will be worth just $5 billion by 2021. Far less than previously estimated, according to a new report from cannabis research firm Brightfield Group, which extrapolated the industry's value based on recreational pot sales post-legalization. Let me just say first, before I get too far into this article, that no one's going to have any, like, these people don't even know what the actual valuation, all right? So the numbers don't even, just disregard the actual numbers. But basically, the premise of this article is to suggest, yeah, the reality is not aligned with the hype that was built up, how all the Canadians are just going to turn to the government or these crony corporations as a means to get their weed, their marijuana, their cannabis, or their pot, or any derivative of that plant, right? No, Canadians, like I said long ago, folks, Canadians already have plenty of sources in the gray or black market to get all their cannabis-related products across this entire country. There is no shortage. There's never been a shortage. And Canadians understand this. And most people aren't foolish enough to want to shoot themselves in the foot by paying taxes or an increased cost to get their drug of choice, whether they're using it for medicinal purposes or for recreational purposes. I said that very early on, that no, Canadians aren't going to jump on board. And no, most Canadians haven't been waiting around till the Liberals legalized weed to get their hands on a bag of the green. Right? No. Between mid-October and the end of 2018, total cannabis sales in Canada in both the medical and adult use markets was approximately $210 million, due primarily to product shortfall from licensed producers and a major drop in demand from medical consumers of cannabis. So, right, the ones that are growing for government, well, like I say, these are people that, the ones that are in the black or gray market that have been offering Canadians their cannabis products of choice for decades now, Yes, they're not going to turn to government. These are the people that are going to remain in that gray or black market. It's only these new entrants or these cronies or these people that think they're going to capitalize on the fact that Canadians like to light up, right? These are the people that are definitely outsiders from the industry, which is why you're seeing how this rollout is not working out properly, because, yeah, you have people that are noobs to the industry and don't know what they're doing. They just want to make money off of it, right? Like I say, the free market, or as they like to call it, the people in government, the black or gray market. Now, those people, because they don't function with a social safety net handed to them or afforded them by big government, these people are nimble and they know how to do what they got to do, and they're very competitive in nature and resilient. These new, it's like I say, failures already, even with the government trying to guarantee them a monopoly on that particular industry. And that's just in regards to, like I say, what they're talking about, this $210 million. And of course, the shortfall. Like I say, in Canada, the only people that are suffering a shortfall of cannabis or can't get their hands on it are the ones that are going to government, or these crony or corrupt institutions that are lobbying government to get their licenses, right? No, there's no shortage. As a matter of fact, like I say, all areas of Canada, you'll find some cannabis if you want it, and a lot better prices, a lot better quality too. Just they're not the ones that are supplying the government. And then, of course, on the other side of that is the fact that, yes, of course, medicinal consumers, that use is not, it's not that they're using it less, it's just that they're going to the black market or the gray market. Now that it's legalized, now that they can actually go to some, you know, like a neighbor, someone that lives in their community, or someone they know, maybe a relative, maybe they can say, hey, would you grow me a few plants and take care of me? At least I know the source and I can trust you and you'll probably give me a lot better deal. Yeah, a lot of these medicinal patients, yeah, they're not going to be turned to government. They're going to be turning to people that they trust, a source where they know where the product originated from, and someone that they actually know will treat them right, both in terms of the quality, but also as well as the price. And those in the private sector, those in the private or black market, those people got that in spades. The ones that now want to jump in, these new entrants that want to monopolize the industry, yeah, they don't have that. All they got is big government. I get it, that's a lot. They got big government on the side. They got legislation. They got the cops. They got a lot of resources, government resources on their side. But yeah, even with all that, yeah, they're never going to beat back or beat down the black market or try to wipe out the black market. Not in Canada. Hell no. This is a huge country, folks. There's a lot of places to grow marijuana in this country, and there's a lot of people that are willing to do so without asking government permission. Chicago-based Brightfield had previously estimated the Canadian cannabis industry to be worth roughly $8 billion by 2021. This is the first time, however, the actual data of recreational sales across Canada is being used to estimate how big the industry is poised to become. Brightfield's latest forecasts appear to be relatively conservative. To give you some context, in Colorado, with a population of 4 million, they sell about $1 billion worth of cannabis in a year. When the recreational market was announced here in Canada, there was so much hype and hope that the rollout was going to be strong, we didn't see that, said Bethany Gomez, managing director of Brightfield Group. The relatively modest sales are in contrast to the $43 billion in market valuation of the country's top 10 cannabis companies, 8 times more than Brightfield's forecast of Canada's domestic industry. A similar analysis of the industry by New Frontier Data, another American cannabis research firm, noted that the Canadian pot industry could be worth up to $9.2 billion by 2025. So basically, both of them are suggesting that, yes, these valuations, I mean, it's not the first time a listing on the stock market is presumed to be way overvalued. I mean, that represents a lot of these corporations that are listed on the market. So yeah, what this is basically alluding to is those of you who are delving into the market in terms of pot sales or profitability, you better be careful that you're not the one that's getting burnt. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of speculation, but the onus is on you, and you are the one that's going to lose out in the end if you don't make the right choice or wise decisions. And as far as I'm concerned, I would never invest in any of these crony corporations that are using big government as a means to an end. Because, yeah, I understand humanity, and I also understand that these inept politicians or the crony counterparts will never be able to suppress the resiliency of those who function in the free market, or should I say, black market. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.